Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wood Gasifier Builders Workshop. So today we're going to do another sub-assembly, and this assembly is going to be the condensate tube. So looking at the back of my model on the V3 gasifier, at the bottom of the cooling assembly we have this condensate tube here. The purpose of the condensate tube is to collect the condensate, any moisture in the gas as it goes down through the to the cooling assembly. It'll collect on the bottom of the condensate tube, and then we can drain it. So the assembly drawing that we're going to be referencing is this here, and then the parts that we've got. So here we've got a 5-inch tube length that's about 34 inches in length. We've got 2 end caps for the 5 inches. These end caps have etch marks at it to show the center, so when you mount the support brackets on it, this end cap has already got a hole for the gas exit. You'll have to cut a hole for the gas entry in it, and then directly below that you'll have to cut a hole for the 3/4 inch drain. We've got 2 support tabs. These are 3x3 support tabs. These are what's going to go on top of the condensate tube that's going to be connected to the cooling assembly that we did in our last video. Then to mount the to mount the condensate tube onto the frame, we're using this angle iron. These are 1.5 inch lengths of angle iron. We're going to put one on each end. So one's going to go on that end cap, one's going to go on this end cap, and then that's going to sit in between the 2 3x5 risers on the base. And then we'll drill and tap 5/6 inch hole to mount that to the base. So those are the parts. It's a pretty straightforward assembly. It does have to be leak tested, very similar to what we did on the cooling assembly. So we'll go ahead and get a welded assembly going and then come back and review that. All right, welcome back. Okay, so we've got our parts all welded up. We've got the welded sub assembly. So you can see here, we've got our angle iron mounted on. We've got our gas in. We've got our 3/4 inch drain. We've got the 2 3x3 supports that are going to connect to the cooling assembly that's going to sit on top. We've got the 2-inch gas exit end caps welded on. We've got the second angle iron brace that's going to be the mount to the frame. So this assembly has to be leak tested, just like we did on the cooling assembly. We'll put the 2-inch end cap on one. We'll put the other 2-inch that has the air compressor connector. We'll feed it some air. 5-10 pounds is more than enough. And then we will use a spray consisting of water and soap around the weld. So we're going to test this weld on the end caps. We're going to test around this weld for the gas in. We're going to test around the weld for the drain on both ends. And then if we find any leaks, we're going to mark it, dry it off, fix it, and then come back and do the same thing over again. Once the assembly's been completed, leak tested, then we can move on to the painted assembly. All right, we're back. All right, so we've got the completed assembly. It's all leak tested and painted. So this is what it looks like here after it's all painted and ready to go. Obviously, you can use whatever paint color that you like. I like to use a 2-tone color with black, gray, or black and green. But there's the assembly. It's very straightforward, very similar to the cooling assembly. All right, guys, good luck. On to the next assembly.